Wrestling fans, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, let's get ready to rumble!
And now, please welcome at this time your hosts, Grant GSM Matthews and RJ Marceau. You're listening to the next era of wrestling radio. This is WrestleRant Radio.
Happy Thursday, folks. Welcome back to WrestleRant Radio here today for September 4th, 2025. I am Graham GSM Matthews, of course, joined, as always, by the one, the only person that is only a little bit less excited for the return of Thursday Night Football than I am, Mr. Marceau himself. Brother, what's going on?
We're fired up for football to be back, so I'm doing good.
I got my XFL jersey on.
I know, I saw that. They nice Enforcers jersey. I like it.
They're playing tonight, right?
Yeah, they're playing on. They're at 8 o'clock, I heard, on NBC.
I'm looking forward to it. I know it's going to be Eagles and, don't tell me we talked about this twice, Eagles and not Patriots. Patriots are playing tonight, correct? But not against the Eagles.
No,
Cowboys.
the Eagles and Cowboys.
Eagles and Cowboys. See, I know this. I was more so testing your knowledge, but I'm looking forward to the game tonight. A lot to look forward to as well this weekend. I was told by one Johnny, actually, in the chat, asking RJ, who would you be picking in the co-main event, in the main event of Saturday night's Fight Night? He's asking you.
Yeah, you're not going to watch big UFC Fight Night this weekend in Paris. They're going to Paris.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
UFC is. Looking at it here, this is, I mean, the main event co-main is pretty good. I think you got to go Mauricio Rufy in the co-main. And I mean, this guy's so French. I don't even know how to say his real name. Nasruddin Imavov.
Of course.
I hope that I'm trying my best for my local Frenchman, but it's a long name. But that's what I got going over the main event. So I got Imavov and Rufy.
There you go. Listen, your last name is Marceau. You got the French roots. So I trust your pronunciation of these names more than probably anyone else. And speaking of French, like you said, WWE was in France this past weekend for Clash in Paris, that you actually came back from the wedding that you were at last weekend with the fresh fade and all, looking fly as always. If you don't understand the reference, go back and check out last week's show. We'll be talking about Clash in Paris here on today's show. The Usos reuniting on Raw this past Monday night. AEW moving all out to earlier in the day on Saturday, September 20th. They will very likely not be running opposite of each other. We're going to get into why that is and whether it was the right call for Tony Khan to make a little bit later on, as well as the rumors and reports that AJ Lee is returning to WWE, not only for Wrestlepalooza, the mixed match tag team matchup with CM Punk, Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins, coming off what we saw Clash in Paris, but potentially this Friday on SmackDown as well. So before we get into any of that, new episodes of WrestleRant Radio, folks, available every single week, every single Thursday, right here on the YouTube channel for the video version, as it airs live here on the channel. But you can also check out the audio version over at WrestleRant.com, WrestleRantRadio.com, and all major podcast platforms. Shout out to the channel members, Alexis, Miss Mon Matthews, Dillon, DiGiacomo, Mrs. Renee, DJ Swerve1 at Swerve1 on IG, Daniel Malcolm at letter I, letter M, Quarter on X, I'm Quarter on X, Mr. Marceau himself at RJ_Marceau on X, John Ritland right here on YouTube, Real Honesty with John Ritland, Richie Red Planet Wrestling here on YouTube as well, and Average Grunt, follow him on Blue Sky at gruntwrestling.bluesky.social. More information on that down below in the description box. You can also find out how to support the show just by subscribing to the channel and liking the video as well. All that support is greatly appreciated, especially if you are watching the show live here today. If you're in the chat watching live, please send in a comment and whatnot. I will get to it momentarily as we get going here. So thank you for tuning in live. We appreciate it. Johnny also said, repeat mania. Well, Will got taken out, that being Will Ospreay, and put on a stretcher at All In and Forbidden Door, and the same happened to Kenny Omega last night on Dynamite. Yeah, Kenny Omega, I don't know what his status is. Will Ospreay is going to be gone for a little while with that neck injury I think he's dealing with at the moment. coming out of Forbidden Door. I don't know if Kenny Omega is going to be at the All Out pay-per-view. I would think so because they're in Canada. That's where he's from. Hopefully he's not out indefinitely. He also said hopefully Alex Windsor is ready to be like Megan Bain, be put in numerous tag team matches in 4-ways. I hope not. Daniel Malcolm said he got a haircut yesterday. Fade is pretty fresh, but can't say it's RJ level. No one will ever be RJ level, correct?
I mean, it was pretty good, honestly. I might have to bust another one at the end of the month, so I guess we'll see. We'll have to wait and see.
I'll have to wait and see. Like I said last week, I think the wedding was just an excuse. He just wanted to appear nice and fresh for the show last week here on WrestleRant Radio. So I'm sure, Daniel, your fade is pretty fresh, but no one will ever be nearly as fresh as the fade that RJ had last week here on the show. Zach, thanks for joining. Happy National Eat an Extra Dessert Day. Very random. Nathaniel said, hi, how is everyone in a couple more weeks until All Out? I'm excited. Also excited for New England Patriots this Sunday. Okay, so the Patriots don't play tonight. They're playing on Sunday. To correct what I said earlier. Nathaniel, thanks for joining. Maria, same thing. What's going on? Thanks for joining, Maria. Eric said, do y'all think Pat McAfee will be at WrestlePalooza with it being in the stadium that made him famous? Good question. Do you think Pat McAfee appears in Indianapolis, Mr. Marceau, or will he be a no-show for the event?
I think he'll be there. I mean, why not? I mean, I think he'll be there.
Doesn't he start the whole Saturday morning football thing soon? Or like now?
Yeah, it's already started. It started last week.
Oh,
That's
okay.
on Sunday. It's on Saturdays anyway. Well, yeah, wait. Yeah, it's on Saturdays. Is Wrestlepalooza on Saturday?
Yep, it is. Well, not this Saturday, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure. Well, I guess he still does the college game day. That does get over at noon.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess depending on where it is, I mean, I think he could probably fly. I mean, it's in Indianapolis, like you said. I feel like that's like synonymous with him. That's where he made like his name. So I think he'll probably be there, but I mean, I guess it's not a guarantee.
Yeah, it would have to be a quick flight from, because he does the college game day. Is it in the same site as wherever the game is that day?
Changes every week. So depending on what they consider like the game of the week, that's where it is.
Okay.
I think that week it might be, let me take a look. I think it might be Notre Dame, which is in Ohio or Indiana, that area. So it is possible depending on where they do it. Let me take a quick peek.
Yeah, no, I didn't know if he was doing it from his studio in Indianapolis or wherever he does his show.
No, let's say 20th. Could be in Miami.
From Indianapolis? I mean, that's far. I don't know. I'm not a great geography person. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, as of now, realistically, the best game of that week looks like it'll be Miami and Florida.
Okay.
So I assume that's probably will be.
Well, WrestlePalooza starts at 7. College game day gets done, Saturday afternoon? So you got a little
over
while.
at noon, yeah.
Yeah, so he's got a little bit, maybe, to make it. I don't know. It's really not that big of a deal if they want him on the show or not, but it would make sense since they are in Indianapolis for that event. Fernando, what's going on? Thanks for joining. He said, I'm so sick of everything being spoiled in the world of movies, wrestling, you name it. People are just too stupid to keep secrets. There's been a lot of chatter this week about the upcoming return of one AJ Lee and a lot of potential spoilers and secrets. It doesn't happen until it happens, but I do agree. I would love for things to be more of a surprise. But listen, we got a surprise at SummerSlam in Brock Lesnar. And that didn't go over too well. That was a surprise, wasn't it?
I mean, with the way that media is nowadays, everything's just like the first to report. So like, I feel like that's why the spoilers get out there. I feel like everyone's so antsy to be the first. Like,
yeah,
I feel like there's no such thing as like you said, outside of Brock. Realistically, there just really isn't too many secrets anymore. Just because everyone's trying to get like engagement and being the first one to report everything. So yeah. I mean, it sucks in that aspect, but like that's just kind of the way stuff is now.
Yeah, no, it's all about the you say the key word there, the E word, engagement. To me, that's really all that it's about. Whether it be from a publication or just a random X account, that's really what it's about, in my opinion, for a lot of these people. Hunter saying, "How's your morning, Chad?" Hunter, what's going on? Thanks for joining. Nathaniel asking, would we want to see AJ Lee beat Becky for the Women's Intercontinental Championship? Would I want to see it? I mean, I wouldn't mind, but at the same time, I just don't see that happening. We will get into a little bit later on whether we see this taking place beyond the WrestlePalooza tag team match. If this is just a one-off or if she's back, like not for good, obviously, but for like a couple of matches, a one-on-one match with Becky. Is that something you would want to see, Mr. Marceau, an AJ Lee women's IC title run?
It all depends if she actually comes back or not. There's a lot of assumptions there. So, yeah. I mean, if she does come back, I mean, I guess like the thing is, if she took the belt off Becky, then I mean, I guess it'd free Becky up to go kind of further up. So I mean, if she actually came back, I wouldn't hate it. Maybe she drops the belt down, or maybe Roxanne Perez, who they have a real life relationship with. I mean, that'd be a big put over. But
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, who knows? We don't even know she's coming back.
We
So
don't
it's
know.
a big assumption. But if so, I wouldn't hate it.
No, I wouldn't mind that. I feel like that'd be a good one-on-one matchup. And I think they just passed each other, too. Becky got called up to the main roster just months after AJ Lee retired, so their paths never crossed. Although she did have a match in NXT with Bayley, did AJ Lee, I think back in 2013, 2014. I want to say 2013 when AJ was the Divas champion. Never crossed paths with Becky Lynch, though, so that would be something new. Fernando asking, did I enjoy Dynamite? I thought it was a fine show. Not a great show, not a bad show, just kind of a show.
How was the 10-way All-Star Classic?
That's actually the first one they've done all year. They don't really do All-Star Tag Team matches often. That and matches for money. It's a fresh concept, so I can't even keep a straight face. It was a great match, but it's like we see this shit every fucking week. Not only do we see it every week, they do it twice a week. They're doing one on Collision, too. On Saturday. It's like, bro, stop. Tony, calm down. We get it. All-star matches. Now, if everyone's it's like the whole Incredibles like mentality. Like, oh, if everyone's a superhero, then no one's a superhero. If everyone's an all-star, then no one's an all-star. So let's stop using that term. Let's stop using words that we don't know the meaning of. Daniel saying, I need a Mean Machine jersey. Who's to say I don't already own one? I don't even know who that is, or do I?
Graham, come on. What's Mean Machine from? I'll give you 5 seconds to guess.
I have zero. I assume that's an XFL reference.
Nope. Longest Yard. The Adam Sandler movie. The Mean Machine.
Of course.
Of course, we have no idea.
Well, I haven't seen the movie in a few years, but who's Mean Machine in the movie? Him?
That's the team name. The convict team's the Mean Machines.
Okay. Well, listen, I remember the movie. I know that Stone Cold's in it, Great Khali's in it, Goldberg's in it, Kevin Nash is in it, taking fucking estrogen or whatever. But I don't remember the team name. So I do need a Mean Machine jersey. That would be great. Eric asking, who's a worse owner, Jerry or Vince?
It's a great question. It is a great question. The problem is like they both had success, but they both also have had plenty of failures. They both can't get out of their own way. They're kind of like the same person at the end of the day. And they're both like really rich. Like it's really a tough question. Like, yeah, the Cowboys haven't won in so long, but they're also valued. They're the most valued franchise in the world. That's just like like you said, they don't win, but they're still worth the most money. So it's so tough.
It's a good question.
I'd probably say I'll go Vince because I'll say Vince is worse just because of the off the field stuff, off the script stuff. So obviously Jerry. I mean, no, I highly doubt Jerry Jones is squeaky clean either. But he hasn't been accused of things that Vince has been alleged to have done. So I'll say Vince is worse.
I mean, Vince has his own documentary on Netflix, kind of exposing him for the person he is.
Well, so does Jerry. It just came out. The America's Team just came out on Netflix.
Oh, okay, never mind.
The Cowboys.
So they're actually even in that respect. Have you seen it or no?
I have not. My dad started watching. He said it's pretty good. So. Okay.
I'll have to check it out. If you recommend it, I will watch it. We just discussed this off air before we got going here. Who here in the chat has seen Just Go With It? Mr. Or actually, I think we didn't. I think it was an on-air discussion that we had.
It was an on-air discussion, yeah.
Yeah, it was before we. It was before I went to SummerSlam last month, but I did finally watch it. Did like parts of it. We were discussing the confusing premise, or what I thought was confusing, in the beginning of it. But I'm glad I watched it. I'm always good for an Adam Sandler flick, unless it's like fucking Pixels or something, which I just refuse. That shit looks awful. This was a step above that, so I won't go quite that far. Alexis still has not seen Billy Madison, actually. I don't think she's going to like it, but it was in the mind because he goes, it's back to school season right now, and he sings the whole back to school song and shit, so I'll probably be watching that imminently in the next couple of weeks. Fernando, similar question, asking Packers, or not really a question. He said Packers versus Cowboys, NFC Championship game. Is that no? You're shaking your head. No.
Cowboys stink. No chance.
How about them Cowboys?
Maybe the Packers. Probably the Packers, Eagles, or Packers, Lions.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll take that. Scott Gatto, what's going on, brother? Great to see you here in the chat. Scott's a great dude. Thanks for joining, Scott. Always great to see you here in the chat whenever you could pop up. Eric asking Mr. Marceau, when is the Tough finale match? TUF. That's the Ultimate Fighter, right?
I honestly haven't seen any of Tough this year, so I have no idea, honestly.
And Maria asking, how was the wedding, RJ? Did you cry?
I did not cry. I kept it together this wedding. It was like more of my wife's friend got married, so I wasn't too invested. If it was like one of my friends, I might have teared up a little bit, but the speeches weren't good enough to cry. It wasn't really a crying wedding, but it was a good time.
Yeah. Wasn't remotely as emotional as Moana 2 or any of the other movies that you've cried at the end of? Wonka?
Oh, do you know what movie I watched the other day? It was pretty good. This might be like a hot take,
What?
so get ready for this one. We watched the new Snow White movie. I actually really liked it.
Okay, I have not seen it. I've heard conflicting things. I've heard from some people they liked it. I've heard from other people saying it was garbage, so I don't really know what to think.
I mean, I know some people don't like the gal that plays Snow White because she said the original was like racist and shit.
Yeah.
But honestly, I thought it was pretty good. The songs were good. I popped big for the dwarfs. The mine train, like the little they get on the mine train to go to work, and that's like the same thing at Disneyland.
Oh, cool.
Disney World. So I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I thought the songs were pretty decent, but I just throw that out there in the chat to get them going.
No, I'm curious. I was curious what you thought of it too. I didn't think you saw it when it came out. I totally forgot about that. It's funny that you said the gal that played Snow White, because I thought you were going to say the woman who played not Maleficent or the Evil Witch or whatever, because her name is Gal. That's Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot plays the queen. Yeah,
the queen. Yes, I've heard that she was terrible.
I think she's fine. I mean, that role in the movie is just dumb, anyways. She's mad at Snow White because she wants to be the fairest of them all, but she's the biggest bitch around. Like, what do you think's gonna happen? It's just like that's a one turn away, which I think people like. That's why they don't care for that movie, because like the whole premise is just dumb.
Yeah,
like she wants to kill Snow White because she wants to be known as the fairest of them all, but she's like a douche. Like the only way she can technically be fairest of all, she kills Snow White. Like that's just dumb.
I'll have to watch it myself and give you my assessment after it's
The songs are pretty good. I'll give you that. The songs are pretty good.
Alexis actually really likes the girl that plays Snow White because she was in a Hunger Games movie a few years ago, and she was also.
That's what Molly said.
Yeah,
I was like, she has a pretty good voice. She's like, I'm pretty sure she was in the Hunger Games. I was like,
yeah, no, she does actually sing. So I mean, I'm sure the songs are good. Because I think she does like not obviously acting, but like she's on fucking Broadway or something, so that would make sense. Yep. Let's see. New England Patriots will win the Super Bowl this year. Yay or nay, Mr. Marceau?
I mean, Nathan, you're smoking crack or?
Millennial Noob, what's going on, brother? Thanks for joining. No L, what's going on? Thanks for joining as well. Imagine if WWE pulls a Paul Heyman tomorrow on SmackDown for AJ Lee. He's talking about 10, 11 years ago when CM Punk was expected back in Chicago and they played his music and Heyman came out instead. That would be fucking awful. But you know what? It would get massive heel heat, I'll tell you that much. I just want to hear the music again. I love AJ, but I just want to hear the music. Let's light it up. I'll fucking light it up through the fucking window. You'll hear me you'll see me jump off a building, off a rooftop, but we'll see. We'll see if it happens, like Mr. Marceau said. If it happens. Let's see. It's going to be Rhea or Candice. Candice is what, CM Punk's tag team partner? Is that what we're talking about here?
No,
or are we talking about something else?
Zero chance. Maybe Rhea, but not Candice.
I could see Rhea, Bailey even. Candice would be a very odd choice. Thoughts on Jamie Hayter? Think she's great. Think she's awesome.
I think she's great. I mean, she needs to lose the red hair, but she had promise, and so I think about her.
Yeah, she just hasn't really been on the show all that much, and I'm just personally, I know she's talked about how it's more of her real life personality. I'm just not really a fan of the whole Brady Bunch character as you are. I don't think it really works. The whole red hair and then the flashy colors and stuff. I don't know. Not a big fan myself. Fernando said Jerry Jones is the dumbest owner GM in sports. Would you concur with that?
I think Nico Harrison will like to have a conversation about worst GM, but like I said, dumbest. Yeah, the problem is he's owner and GM, so like he just gets in his way too much.
Yeah. Grunt, Nick, what's going on, guys? Thanks for joining. Always great to see you guys in the chat as well. Nathaniel saying in his Celtics play next month. Hey, listen, I went to a Celtics game last year. I'm a Celtics expert at this point. It was a fun game. Let's see. A lot of activity going in here in the chat. Thank you guys again for joining. Maria said, I would love for AJ to win the IC championship. Time will tell. I still don't see it happening, but I guess anything's possible. And then Nick said, WrestleOps just tweeted, some within WWE are quietly expecting tomorrow's SmackDown to be Cena's final appearance. So I wasn't sure what he was talking about, so I pulled it up on my phone, and it is exactly what he said that they said. And it is the real account, because sometimes like WrestleOps, there's like WrestleOops, and it's like the fake account or whatever. This is the actual account. They didn't say final appearance. They said some are expecting his appearance tomorrow on SmackDown to be his final SmackDown appearance. So I think that makes sense because he doesn't have many appearances left on this retirement tour. And the appearances that are left are, I think, Survivor Series, Crown Jewel, WrestlePalooza, and then whatever his final retirement match is in December. So your thoughts on SmackDown, that would make sense because his first SmackDown appearance was in Chicago when he debuted back in 2002. So what are your thoughts?
I mean, it's only September 5th, so it's a little surprising. It's his last SmackDown, but I guess he doesn't have too many bookings left. So I guess I feel like he should have a little bit more appearances, but yeah.
So I guess he's just not going to hype up any of his matches that he has going forward. He's just going to show up on pay-per-view. That's what it sounds like.
Works for me, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's better than nothing, but we'll see. We'll see what he has in store for tomorrow. I'm looking forward to the show for seeing his appearance for sure. Nathaniel said, RJ, how do you feel about Lyra wrestling next Monday? We haven't seen her wrestle since SummerSlam. Are you excited?
Yeah, I can't wait. It's been too long.
It's been too long. I don't know who she's taking on. I think Roxanne, which would be a great match, by the way, or Raquel. I think it's Raquel, but I think we'll find out fairly soon. Grunt said, I'm convinced that every time you bring up All-Star tags, he books another one just to spite you. I would not be surprised, Grunt. I would not be surprised. As if Tony Khan gave a fuck about me, but that wouldn't shock me.
Honestly, he might.
He might. I would be flattered. Let's see. A lot of activity here about AEW. AEW is pretty much running out of ideas at this point. I mean, I don't know if I'd go that far. Mario said, people mad at SRS and Fightful as if the report literally didn't say WWE officials essentially confirmed the return. Yeah, I mean, the whole, there was also, you're also talking about with the return of AJ. There was that WWE shop comment too, with oh yeah, if you want to get her a shirt, it'll be available, and they kind of spoiled it. It was like an AI response. I wouldn't really blame the dirt sheets for spoiling the return. If you watch the fucking show on Sunday, by the way, if you want confirmation that she was probably coming back, they pretty much told you that when you watched Clash in Paris. I mean, though I say that and watch it end up being Rhea or Candice LeRae, as someone said earlier, I guess anything's possible. Fernando said go with it was okay. He said it was an okay movie. Grunt has never seen it. I mean, you got to tell these people to watch it, Mr. Marceau, and implore them to check out the movie.
I don't think. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think Grunt would ever see that movie.
Mario's talking about Jerry Jones. Have we seen the picture of a young Jerry Jones in a crowd of racists shouting at black kids? Is that true, or is that just an AI thing? That's very random. I mean, we were talking about Jerry Jones before,
I have
so
no idea what you're talking about.
No, I have never seen that. I don't know if that's a real thing or not. Gal Gadot sucks. She also ruined Wonder Woman 84. That movie was pretty bad. I agree, Maria, on that. AJ asking, what are our thoughts on Matt Riddle's current midlife crisis? Are you following the whole Matt Riddle thing going on right now or no?
I saw a quick note. I'm not really paying attention, but
he's having this whole breakdown over, I was not booked for this and all this other sort of shit, and it's kind of a mess right now. He didn't give them their deposit back. He's missing a lot of shows. Let's put it that way. And there's a lot of miscommunication on his end and his manager. This is a guy that could have been a world champion in WWE had he just had his head on straight, but it sounds like he's his own worst enemy in a lot of respects. Nathaniel, talking to Mr. Marceau again, asking about the Patriots. He says the Patriots they have the best coach and the best roster in the NFL right now. How are they not going to win?
It's just not true.
Who is your pick for the Super Bowl this year? Chiefs Kingdom? Acknowledge?
Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bills. Okay, a little Josh Allen action.
There you go.
Okay, see, I know my quarterback, right? Isn't he the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills?
He is.
Yes. Okay. See, I know my Buffalo Bills. I got my trivia down here. Let's see. Ava Rain can act better than Gal Gadot. Did we see the Rampage Jackson interview Mario asked? Did you see the follow-up on that yesterday on Ariel Helwani's show?
I did. It was terrible.
He was like defending his son, but he was also like, yeah, I don't really fuck with my son. What was he talking about?
It was a 60-minute interview with him saying the exact same thing for 60 minutes. It was painful.
Yeah, Daniel texted me about it last night. I saw some snippets of it on Twitter yesterday, and he kind of told me what he was saying.
Ugh.
He was just like, what are we doing? How is he
He
coming out of
literally
this
was like,
looking
yeah,
at
my
us?
son's an idiot. Like, you shouldn't have done that. But, like, they put them, like, I mean, I understand what he's saying, but the problem is he kept going back to the well every time. It was like, yeah, my son's an idiot and should have done that. But they did, like, the guy did, like, hit my son first. They did book him in the match. Like, they didn't really explain everything to him. And he's an idiot. He should go to jail. But, like, he also was disrespected. He said that literally for 60 minutes.
That's crazy. Yeah, no, I just saw some snippets of it. He didn't really come across looking all that great at all. And Rajah Jackson, just in an update, still not behind bars. He has not suffered a single consequence, I don't think, for what happened a week or two ago. So I got to go back and check out that interview. I know you said it was painful, but I'm kind of curious.
Don't watch it. You literally, you'll waste your time. I just told you what happened.
I guess that's true. Fernando said, RJ, how much better does Parsons make the Packers?
Oh, much better.
Who's Parsons?
Micah Parsons, he was on the Cowboys, got traded to the Packers last week.
Oh, okay.
Good player.
Okay. So is that why the Cowboys are going to
I thought you knew ball. I didn't know you didn't need an explanation there.
Like I said, I'm just testing your knowledge. Scott, you are exactly right. Seen his first and last SmackDown, both in Chicago. Yeah, that's what I was saying before. It makes a lot of sense. I like that. It's very fitting. Roxanne Perez, quick as a cat. I agree. I think we see Bayley interfere in Lyra's match next Monday. Yeah, probably.
If she's facing Roxanne and Roxanne gets a win, I'm down.
Yeah, as long as she gets a win. Scott asking, where would you guys like to see Cena's final match take place? Because it's
Boston.
Not looking to be in Boston. I'm curious why you said that, Scott, because I think it will be in. Why would it not be in Boston? That would be that would make no sense. They were just in Boston for SmackDown a couple of weeks ago. Cena was not on that show, and I don't think he was on that show because they want to save his final appearance for Boston for his final match. Is there really anywhere else that would make sense but Boston if they went there for anywhere else for his last match?
I mean, that's where he's from. I don't know where else you do it.
I mean, Chicago would make sense, but they're in Chicago on Friday, so that's not happening. But it would have to be in Boston. I just don't see how it's not Boston. A lot of questions from Mr. Marceau here. If Rodgers can turn back the clock, how far can the Steelers go? Fernando asked.
Depends if Rodgers can turn the clock back or not. I mean, I think they can make the playoffs. I don't think they'll contend for a Super Bowl, but if he's somewhat close to what he used to be, I think they'll make the playoffs. They have a good team.
Okay. Mario, so you got to reword your question. I don't know what you're talking about. You said, do you think all the egos and manicism in the industry will subculture during the ESPN era? I have no idea what you're talking about, so if you can reword that for me, I will pose that question to you, Mr. Marceau. Let's see. Though Jerry himself isn't shouting, but he's in the crowd. Oh, okay, so that is a real photo, Daniel said. The whole Jerry Jones thing, that's crazy.
Haven't seen it.
He also said the interview was absurd because he was the one that...
Dude, it's so bad. I was mad insane. After I watched that. I stayed for the whole thing.
Yeah, Riddle also looks like shit these days, Mario said. The red hair isn't exactly flattering. Grunt said, just go that is a movie I'd never watch on my own, but if my partner liked it and wanted to watch it with me, I would. Well, listen, consider Mr. Marceau and me, Grunt, your partner. Go watch the movie for us.
Exactly. Come on, Grunt. What the hell?
If we're telling you to watch it, Mr. Marceau's got good taste, all right? Go check it out and see what he says, or see what you think. Let's see. Did we hear about the meltdown that Matt Riddle had? Yes, we just talked about that. And he also cannot keep Punk's name out of his mouth these days. And he was also shit-talking AJ Lee, too, I saw. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Yeah, Yoey Spingucci, we kind of answered this earlier, but he asked, is AJ sticking around? If she sticks around, do we think that we get a Roxanne match? I don't think we do, but I think it would be great.
What? You have to. She sticks around.
I mean, I think AJ would want to do it, but I don't know if they... Do you think Roxanne's enough of a priority for WWE that they would book that match?
I mean, I think they see her at an upper tier level, so yeah, I think you'd do it.
Yeah, I would hope so. I'm just trying to be pessimistic here and be like, I don't think they will. I think it's a one-off and that's it. If she is to wrestle, hopefully she goes.
Well,
in
yeah.
there.
I mean, if she continues, obviously if it's a one-off, then no. But if she continues, you have to get that match.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it's like, she goes in there, does a good performance, has a good performance, and it's like, yeah, I could do more matches, and then she has the Roxanne match at some point. I just feel like that would make the most sense, but I'm not getting my hopes up in case we don't get it. Why even Tessa Blanchard is telling you to get your head out straight, you're messed up. Talking about Matt Riddle, that's crazy. I think Cena will face Gunther or Drew in his last match. Edge is a long shot. We talked about this before. Edge is not facing John Cena. Does anyone watch AEW here? Like, Edge is not coming back. He's not, or at least not anytime soon. He's not coming back for December. I think people think that his contract expires in like fucking October, then he's going to go right back to WWE. That would be wild. That's not happening. Yoey Spangucci said they could do Cena's last match anywhere if they really want. Bro, they could do it in my fucking backyard, but they could do it anywhere they want.
Well, I was gonna say, they could do it in fucking China if they really wanted to, but it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. I think Boston has got to be where it is. Scott also asking on the Cena front, do we think that Cena's final match is a singles match or possibly like a 6-man Cena Punk Roman versus division? It's got to be a singles match. I mean, you could do like the 6-man on like TV or something. You cannot have Cena's final match be a fucking 6-man, especially what we know now that he's capable of. Bro, he went in there at Clash in Paris and had a great match with Logan Paul. The Cody Rhodes match, aside from the kicking out of 10 finishers and the bazookas and whatever that we were talking about, earlier in the month in August, it's got to be a singles match, right?
Has to be.
Has to be. AJ Lee versus Rhea or Liv. I don't think we get either of those matches, but, I would be down to see AJ versus whoever. Maria said their favorite Adam Sandler movie is The Wedding Singer. Good movie?
Good movie. It's not my favorite, but it's a good movie.
I don't know if I've ever seen it. I know the movie, but I don't think I've ever seen it beyond like the first 5 minutes on fucking FX or something. Daniel said there's no way they don't do a Roxanne match or she's sticking around. I hope so, but I just don't want to give them credit for something they may not end up doing, so we'll see. AJ would push forward. Hunter said, I think Fightful said it wasn't essentially a one-off. Again, like I said, I hope not. We'll see. It took her this long to come back, so I just don't see her coming back for a full-on run. She seems like she's very hesitant to come back for anything. That's why I say I don't think it's going to happen. But like I said, we'll see. Daniel said they love when they can show pics of younger wrestlers back when they were fans in the promos. Yeah, they could do that if Roxanne and AJ were to work together. Eric was talking about Rampage's son. I forgot. Talking about the whole... I thought you were talking about Matt Riddle. Okay, Tessa Blanchard was shitting on Rajah Jackson. Yeah, that is pretty crazy. Gunther should be seen his last match. We've talked about that before. I'd be totally down for that. And Scott said, hopefully at some point we get Punk, AJ, and Larry versus Cody, Brandy, and Pharaoh at some point. Hey, that would draw money. I don't think we're gonna get that at some point, unfortunately, but that would be pretty cool. I'd be down to see Larry versus Pharaoh for sure. Now listen, Mr. Marceau, we talked a lot about AEW a little bit earlier, but I do want to ask you about this. AEW All Out coming up on September 20th. Originally scheduled for 8 p.m. that night to air opposite of WWE Wrestlepalooza. Now they're moving it to earlier in the afternoon. The pay-per-view's in 2.5 weeks, and they're drastically changing the start time to 3 p.m. in the afternoon to ensure they don't run opposite of the WWE pay-per-view that night. Now, a lot of people are saying this is a smart call so they can maximize exposure, viewership, pay-per-view buy rates, whatever, which is true. But I will also say this. Do you see it as a sign of, and this might be too strong of a word, but weakness?
Oof.
And that it's showing that it was their night to start and they're moving away from their time to accommodate WWE, not to benefit them, but the report from Fightful, to be fair, also indicated, the start time for Forbidden Door went so well, we want to start doing more earlier start times. I call bullshit on that. Forbidden Door started so early because it was in fucking England. This is in Toronto. It's East Coast time, I believe. There's no real reason to think it'd be a different start time. They're only doing this so they don't have to run opposite of WWE Wrestlepalooza. I am not complaining because I don't want to watch both shows at the same time. Long day of wrestling, but I'd rather watch one and then the other. So I like it as a fan and as someone who, writes about this stuff, covers it, whatever. But I'm just saying it also looks like WWE almost essentially won, quote-unquote, this little war that they started by doing a pay-per-view out of nowhere on the same night that AEW already had a pay-per-view. So I'm going to get your thoughts on it and what you would have done if you're kind of in charge of the situation as a booker.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, I just think on the outside looking in, like you said, it looks like they got run off their time. They don't want to run the same time as WWE, so they moved it up earlier. Logistically, I mean, I saw some other people have mentioned this. Like, imagine if you're flying in that day or you're going in, checking your hotel. Usually that stuff's not even until 3, 4 o'clock. So, like, just for the viewer itself, I wonder how that's going to affect people coming in. They're staying, like I said, staying in hotels. If they're coming the day of, that could mess it up or stuff like that. So, I mean, with it being 2 weeks away, I feel like I said, it doesn't look great, but for someone like you who's going to watch both, obviously it's more ideal. I just think logistically, if you're going, it could be kind of like a nightmare.
Yeah, especially for some people that work on Saturdays and stuff. Let's say you were getting off work at 5 o'clock and like, oh, I could still make it to the show at 8 p.m. Bro, they moved it to 3. So you can't even make the show. Is that a vast majority of the people going? Probably not. And I
No.
think they're willing to take that risk, but it's still not ideal.
Yeah, no, like I said, I think just for people attending, it could be, like I said, if you're going, like I said, if you're going to the show, it's no different if, like, when we went to Montreal, if we, like, they moved the show up and we checked in the same, like, that day, it could have been a kind of a pain in the ass. So, I mean, like you said, I think it's just so they don't run opposition, but, I mean, for the people going, you might as well just kept at the same time.
Do you think it sets a bad precedent as far as if we're willing to move for WWE now, that we're willing to move for them in the future, and WWE might think, hey, if they're going to move for us now, then, we might as well book more pay-per-views opposite of AEW pay-per-views in the future?
I guess it just really depends on. I mean, this was later.
Mm-hmm.
Like the WWE kind of waited last minute to do it. So, I mean, like I said, I don't think it looks great, but I would, if you're going to make the change, you should do it like at least a month in advance.
No, I agree. I think 2.5 weeks in advance is a little last minute. It's a good call, but they should have. The only reason they're announcing this now is because WrestlePalooza is official and whatnot. But that being said, though, like I know we just talked about like fans benefit. If you watch both promotions, if you were planning on watching both shows, you can now watch very likely all of it before WrestlePalooza even starts. WrestlePalooza starts at 7 p.m. local time or Eastern time, whatever. Same thing. And then All Out starts at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So unless the show goes fucking 6 hours, you could probably watch both shows in their entirety. A long day of wrestling, but you could probably watch both. Now, like I said, it benefits the fans. But does it really benefit? Because we've talked before about how WWE's doing this to dominate the headlines. Don't they still dominate the headlines that they're happening? The show's happening the same day. I mean, doesn't it make it worse almost where at least previously, if they're airing at the same time, it's like, oh, you got Edge and Christian wrestling now versus Cena and Brock. The AEW pay-per-view's earlier in the afternoon. So by the time WrestlePalooza starts, that's really what people are going to be talking about Saturday night going into Sunday.
No, exactly. Like you said, I think that's kind of like the biggest problem too, is like, I feel like they want WWE, the whole reason they're doing this, like, I mean, they could care less about like how many tickets and people buy the show. They're, like you said, they're trying to dominate. We said the E word before, engagement.
Yeah.
They want to have the headlines. They want to be the social media. They want all that stuff. So now that you're putting it earlier in the show, they're the second show now. So they're probably, depending on what happens, like you said, we're going to get Brock and Cena most likely. We're going to get
tag team match.
The mixed tag team match. We're going to have Io and Stephanie. Like, all those headlines are going to just most likely swamp over everything they did. So they're, like you said, in doing what they really want to do at the end of the day. So it's tough. I mean, it's definitely a tough spot to be in. But, I mean, I think moving the show up is, like you said, it's just showing, like, optically doesn't look good.
No, it just optically.
Like you said, if I had to work that day and I really wanted to watch it, I usually would work till like 5 o'clock. So I missed the first 2 hours of the show.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I don't know. I just also feel like, do you really think there's that much of an overlap? Like, I like watching both promotions. I know a lot of people here tuning in, chatting in, whatever, also watch both companies. I don't know if that's the majority, to be honest with you. I feel like, I'm not saying AEW should run opposite of fucking Raw and their numbers would be fine. But Tony Khan likes to book for the quote-unquote sickos, okay? Like the die-hard fans that watch the product regardless. Grunt is one of them. Grunt does not watch. Grunt, it's a compliment. You're a sicko. You're an AEW sicko.
Grunt's a sicko.
What'd you say, RJ?
Grunt's a sicko.
Grunt's a sicko? Yeah, he is a sicko. Yeah, so he's one of the sickos that's going to watch the pay-per-view and not watch WWE. Those people are going to be watching All Out regardless. I just don't really see this changing the engagement. I feel like it's going to be less engagement. All In was one thing. I'm glad they moved the start time to that to earlier in the afternoon because that was a long show. That's like their version of WrestleMania. All Out does not have nearly as stacked of a card. I looked at the card this morning coming out of Dynamite last night. They have fucking 3 matches announced for a pay-per-view in 2.5 weeks, and one of those matches is Mercedes Moné versus Rio that I just couldn't give 2 shits about at all. I mean, it's a fresh match, but I just don't really care about it. Cope and Christian versus FTR is great. And I think the other match is like Ricochet and the Gates of Agony versus the Hurt Syndicate in a 6-man tag team match. Not exactly the most star-studded card they've ever done. It's not all-in level. I just don't see this going well for them long-term. I really feel like it's all about the engagement, and they're probably going to get less of it because once that show is over, sights will be set on WrestlePalooza, and whether it's a good show, a terrible show, or what have you, it's going to be all about that going into Sunday. I don't know how much of like that show of All Out we're going to be talking about going into the show when we review it in like the week after. So it's an interesting situation. I do want to check out the chat here before I move on to the next thing because a lot of people are talking about AEW here. I do agree with Yoey Spingucci, though. They said Love Ziggler should be seen his last match. I would agree either Love Ziggler or Tyreek with Mr. Marceau with the fresh fade as the special guest referee, but just my opinion. Eric said if she sticks around, I'd love an AJ Liv match, but I'm not getting my hopes up because I know it's unlikely. Yeah, it's probably not happening, but I think Liv Morgan would love to work with AJ Lee, and I think it'd be a good match, too. Fernando said, I think it was a mistake to move All Out. It makes them look scared running from the fight. I mean, that's kind of what we were hinting at. I don't really see it affecting their business. That's the thing. Or here actually is another thing before I move forward with the chat, RJ. It was also announced yesterday, in addition to the earlier start time, that they're actually going to start airing the pay-per-views moving forward, not just with All Out, but like that's the first one of many, on Max, which is great, on HBO Max, excuse me. The HBO Max era is finally underway. And the idea for a lot of people was, oh, if they're on Max, it's going to be like Peacock, or if you have Max, you could just watch the show. That's actually not the case. If you have Max, you can still watch All Out. You can watch All Out, which is awesome, but it's only at a discounted rate. It's almost the exact same price as the pay-per-view. It's still $40. And if you're paying for the basic Max subscription, which is like at least $10, you're paying $50, which is how much these pay-per-views are if you buy them on like Triller or payperview.com or YouTube or whatever. I think it's great they're on Max, but I do think they should have done a better job of making it seem like you're getting a steal of a deal. Maybe offering it at $30. Do you think that would have made more sense, or do you think they just need to make their money back on these pay-per-views?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, for the fans, I mean, I think it's tough. Like I said, spending $50, especially they're doing more and more shows, but I mean, like I said, they're in bed with Warner Brothers Discovery. I'm not sure exactly what they could do, but I mean, you would hope that they could do a little bit better.
Yeah, you would think. I don't know. I would say maybe $35 because I feel like a $40 discount when you're already paying at least $10, and most people pay more than that for like the ad-free shit. You're not really saving any money. It's not really much of a steal. I'm glad they're doing it though, but I feel like that could be better. I don't know if that's an AEW call or an HBO Max call, Warner Brothers call. I don't know. Probably the latter. Scott said AEW kind of has to because if you think about it, they rely on a portion of pay-per-view buys. WWE already has the bag from ESPN, so they could care less of their head-to-head. That makes sense with what we were just talking about, but as far as going head-to-head, I really honestly don't think, like I said, with the sickos, they're going to watch these pay-per-views regardless. I don't really feel like AEW's pay-per-views buys would go down dramatically if they aired opposite of WrestlePalooza. I'm not saying they should schedule their shows for opposite of WWE shows, counter-program, so to speak, the WWE shows. I'm not advocating for that. But if WWE is going to join them on their night, just stay put. Again, it doesn't really benefit us fans who want to watch both. But I don't know. I don't really see AEW taking that much of a hit because those people are going to watch that show regardless, at least based on the feedback that I've seen on social media within the last day. But a lot of people like the movie.
I think we've said this every time. I mean, if you're going to watch one, you're going to watch one over the other. It's not, I don't think there's too many people that are like, oh, I have to choose between one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think most people are just going to watch you know, they're either already going to watch the AEW show, or like you are probably going to watch the WWE show regardless, obviously. So I don't really see there being that much of an overlap where there's an issue. You asked, do you guys think that AEW has a star power issue with all of the notable names seemingly out for quite a while? I don't think so. I mean, they have so many people still on that roster. MJF, the Hurt Syndicate are great. Adam Page, Kenny Omega, hopefully he's not out. You know, Kyle Fletcher, Okada, Takeshita. I don't really think the star power issue is much of an issue at all, even with Ospreay and Swerve taking time off. I think they'll be fine. Honestly, this allows them to use people who we do not see on the show as much. I would use Wardlow as an example, but he came back at All In and has so far done fucking nothing, and they never really explained why he's in the Don Callis family. So I'm not going to use him as an example. But there's other people who may not usually sniff television time that they can boost up the card in the absence of these bigger stars. So that's the idea anyway. I guess we'll see if they do that. They also still have Jon Moxley, Darby Allin. Like, I think they'll be totally fine. Scott said before streaming, you couldn't even have companies go head-to-head on pay-per-view because they share the same channel. Yeah, no, it's totally different now. It's a very different world in the streaming world now with wrestling. Maria said, it looks like WWE bullied AEW out of their original time slot because they had it first. They did basically bully them out of it. That is true. Would I want to see Cope and Christian versus Brodito? Yeah, I feel like that'd be a good match. I don't know if they're going to do it, but that match would be good, especially if it was for the AEW World Tag Team titles. Lapdog saying, dominating engagement doesn't affect AEW's bottom line. The IWC is less than 10% of the pro wrestling audience. Yeah, I think it does, though.
It does, because at the end of the day, I mean, if they keep getting drowned out, I mean, their ratings aren't going up. I mean, the thing is, they're doing this because they're trying to, like you said, they're trying to get engagement, lower than just the whole value, and then when they go for another TV deal, which WWE is pretty much outside of Warner's Brothers Discovery, there really isn't anywhere else from them really go anyways at this point, because they're in bed with everyone else.
Yeah.
And we don't even know what's going to – I mean, allegedly TNA is going to go somewhere, which they're in bed with TNA as well. So, I mean, it's one of those things. They're not, like, shutting them out. Like I said, they're shutting them out by, like, their exposure, because it's going to get to a point there's going to be no other TV platform they can go to because they already own everything. They're already on everything else.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, I think it's really all about the engagement. I honestly feel like – I mean, you say the IWC is less than 10% of the entire pro wrestling audience. With AEWs, that's almost their entire audience. I mean, I feel like anyone that's an AEW fan, I'd be shocked if you were not on the internet in some form or fashion. Like, what the fuck does the IWC even mean in 2025? Because literally almost anyone watching, if you're over a certain age, probably has an Instagram account or a Twitter account or a Facebook that's commenting and on this shit and sharing this shit. If we're not talking about AEW, like, I'm not talking specifically me and you, but, like, if the show gets drowned out by a better show or a bigger show even in Wrestlepalooza, and we're not talking about AEW, people will not go watch the show because they have no incentive to, because they're not really doing anything out of the ordinary or anything worth checking out. So I really feel like in 2025, to me, it's all about the engagement. I mean, the pay-per-view buys are one thing. The money thing is one thing. AEW is fine. For the next 4 or 5 years, they sign their fucking deal. They're okay. We know WWE's fine. It's about the engagement and getting people talking on those platforms, you know, forming your algorithm to be all AEW or all WWE, even if it's garbage. Like, if you're watching the show, I mean, you do the garbage stuff. If you do the garbage stuff enough, people will stop watching, obviously. But if people are talking about it, then it gives them an incentive to see how bad they're actually doing or how great they're doing or whatever. So I would disagree with that, kind of going off of what you said. And All Out not being a top AEW pay-per-view, it's not, but I still wouldn't have moved the show. Fernando said that he's a sicko and he's proud of it. Let's see. Grunt said he's kind of torn on this. He says, I kind of like earlier shows, and thankfully it doesn't affect any of my plans being there, because he is going, which is cool. But I do feel like for the people who are fucked over, I do feel for the people who are fucked over by any last-minute change. Yeah, you just can't really make this a regular thing. That's kind of the problem. Going off of what RJ said earlier. They should have just said fucking and had their pay-per-views in the early afternoon at this point. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Let's see. A lot of comments here again. Thank you guys for chatting in. Before we move on to the next topic, I'm just kind of moving along. I'm not going to read everything, but Let's see. I could see Roxanne match being a part of AJ's list of demands. Well, I don't know if she has a list of demands, but I mean, I could see AJ wanted to work with Roxanne and putting her over. I still don't think we get the match, but I would love to see it. Hunter said the pay-per-view model is completely dead now with the UFC switching to Paramount. AEW needs to catch up. I mean, they're on pay-per-view, but they're also on Max as well. So, yeah. The pay-per-view business is not completely dead, but it's close to it for sure. Let's see. They always make sure you get your money's worth with AEW, Grunt said. The only big names are Ospreay and Swerve, and to a lesser extent, Adam Cole. Adam Cole is not as big of a name as fucking MJF. That's just not true. That tells me you may not watch the show, because Adam Cole being in I forgot Adam Cole's even there, and he's hurt right now anyway. He's definitely not one of their biggest names. Adam Page is definitely at this point a bigger name than Adam Cole. You asked, did you see Cody's Bruce Pritchard interview? Do you think he mentions AEW too much? Did not see the interview. I saw some clips from it. Did you see what he said about AEW, where he's like, "Oh, I want more credit for like helping create the company or something"? I saw that on Twitter this morning.
No, I didn't see it.
They actually filmed that at the warehouse, because I was in that spot a couple days ago. If you look in the background, it was that's actually where it was filmed. Johnny said, you two should go to Buffalo Wild Wings to watch a UFC pay-per-view. Not a bad date idea, Mr. Marceau. Yeah, UFC pay-per-view. I mean, you already have the ESPN thing, don't you?
Yeah.
Or Paramount. That's where they're on now.
Yeah, Paramount.
So we don't even need to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. I am going to Buffalo Wild Wings next weekend, though, with my dad to watch a Mets game. A game that we were supposed to be at, because I think it's like homecoming day or something. Bobby Valentine's going to be there. That's a name I know. Former Red Sox manager, I think. Let's see. Who looks slimmer right now? Batista or Rock, AJ said. Have you seen the Rock photos going around?
I have not.
There's a whole discourse right now about Rock and like, oh, he's losing weight and, you know, he looks terrible. He's off the roids. He might be off the roids, but I wouldn't say that he looks sickly. He just looks smaller. That's all. He's filming that movie, that Smashing Machine, or he was filming it. It's out next month. Looks good, though. Scott asking, will you guys be attending Raw in Springfield next Monday? Very likely not. I don't think so. But the last match we're seeing in Boston, I would like to go to. But Mr. Marceau and I will very likely not be at Raw in Springfield next week. I was just at, we were just at Heatwave, actually. We were there in Lowell a couple of weeks ago, which was great. We talked about that last week here on the show. Lapdog said, Wardlow has a set feud with Swerve when he returns. What am I talking about? Bro, did you watch Dynamite the last 2 weeks? Last week's Wardlow was on the show in a fucking suit as a background player in the All-Star 10-man tag or whatever they did. He did nothing. He wasn't even on the show this week. Wardlow will be lucky if he's even still under contract with the company by the time Swerve comes back. I mean, watch the fucking show. Come on, man.
Lapdog might be a Tony Khan burner at this rate.
Come on, brother. Wardlow being set for a Swerve feud, what, so he can come back and lose as soon as Swerve's ready to return? Give me a break. I know you're trying to be optimistic, but watch this show. He's a fucking non-factor on AEW television right now. Bill said, the most shocking thing to me out of the whole thing with the AJ Lee thing, I guess, is that it's very close to selling out the Allstate Arena at these ridiculous prices. Yeah, did you see that? SmackDown's at like 16,000 people right now, dude. That's insane.
I want 18,000.
I don't know how many people they could fit in that building, but you love to see
it. They
put
AC in that shithole yet, or?
I know, it was fucking hot in there when we went there years ago. That was tough.
I'm still sweating.
What are some of the best tag team dream matches that I've seen? I have no idea. I'd have to think about that one. AEW shows are always better than WWE shows. Usually they are. That I would agree with. Not every time, but usually. Let's see. Are you surprised that we haven't seen Tessa in NXT yet? Yeah, I am surprised, honestly.
Yes, I'm surprised we haven't seen it yet.
I think it's going to happen at some point. I'm just surprised it hasn't already happened. I think FTR can win in Toronto. To answer your question earlier, yes, I could see FTR winning. I don't think they will, but I think there's certainly a chance. JMG Gilla saying Adam Cole is more recognized worldwide than Adam Page. Because of the Undisputed Era, I don't know about that, bro. I think you're overestimating. I love Adam Cole. I think you're overestimating Adam Cole. He was in NXT for 4 years, the WWE developmental roster. He made one appearance on Raw or SmackDown. He's been gone from WWE for 4 years. I think it's pretty comparable. I'm not saying Adam Page is definitely a bigger name than Adam Cole. I may have said that before, but I think there's a pretty good chance of it. Because Adam Cole's been gone for so long now. Oh, Johnny said, so the UFC pay-per-views aren't on Paramount until January. Is that true?
Correct.
Okay, so we're going to have to wait until January to watch a show together. Daniel said Rock lost like 60 pounds. That's a lot. He's fine, though. I mean, he'll be totally fine. Johnny said Applebee's might be mad with Graham going to Buffalo Wild Wings. Yeah, we're Applebee's. Hey, listen, we went to Applebee's last week. It was good, right? I can't be cheating on Buffalo Wild Wings, although B-Dub-Dubs is great, too. Let's see. Daniel said the funny thing is he's probably just down to wrestling weight like 0102. Yeah, Rock does look like he's from that same time period, from when he was wrestling in 0102. Wardlow's nickname should be background player because that's what he is. So Lapdog said he watches every show. Brother, if you watch every show, then you can tell me Wardlow was not on Dynamite this week, and he was on last week and did nothing. He explained nothing. So tell me how that makes him an important player, because he's feuding with Swerve and might be like a couple months from now. If they really had such prominent plans for Wardlow, then I feel like you would think they would have pushed him a little bit more aggressively since he returned at Forbidden Door a few weeks ago. Richie, what's going on, brother? He said, well, if it isn't just my two favorite dudes in wrestling, Cream Math, that's my nickname. I don't want to explain the whole reason for that nickname, but it's stupid. And RJ _Marfade and not Marceau. I like that, RJ _Marfade. I like that a lot. They can only fit 17,000 in there. Well, let's get 17,000 in there, right? For SmackDown tomorrow night?
I'm down.
I like that. Daniel agrees. He's spent a lot of time in the Chicago area. I think he lives there now. He says Allstate as an arena sucks. I wish they would just run the United Center. Yeah, if AEW can do it, I don't know why the fuck WWE wouldn't either. I don't want to see Tessa in NXT, Johnny says. A lot of people don't, so you're not alone there. Also, a much easier journey than traveling to Rosemont. Yeah, Rosemont is not technically Chicago, for those that are unaware. But, it is a lot of history in that building, so it was cool being there. Why won't Tony Khan let Danhausen and Brett Baker out of their deals? Because, they're under contract. So, I don't agree with, if they don't have plans for these people, then just let them go. I don't agree with keeping these people around. I think it's stupid to just keep these people under contract if you're not going to fucking let them go. Am I excited for Rio and Monet at All Out?
No.
Not really, no. We'll dust off Rio once a year to have a match with Monet. I think the match will be good, but am I excited for it? I don't think that's the right word I would use. Lapdog said, Swerve is a top guy in AEW. It's not like Wardlow attacks Speedball. Brother, I can't say this enough. There was no follow-up. There's no follow-up. If they had such plans for Wardlow, don't you think they would have had him on Dynamite the following Wednesday explaining why he joined the Don Callis family? Don't you think he would have wrestled a match? Don't you think they would have had him wrestle on Collision? Don't you think he would have been on Dynamite last night? The answer to all of those questions is fucking no. Like, if they cared about Wardlow, they would have fucking done more with them since he came back, and even prior to that point. The man's been off TV since March of last year. Rio is injured for the last year. Yeah, she was, but they barely used her prior to that point.
Anyways, who cares?
The sickos will enjoy it, and that's totally fine. I personally don't give a shit. Richie said, Britt and Dan need to pull a Punk and fight Jack Perry in front of Tony, so he fears for his life. Yes. That's the only way they're getting out of their deals at this point. And then last thing before we move on here, Johnny said, for RJ, rank these pizzas. New York, Chicago, or New Haven?
I feel like I really haven't had New York pizza, like from New York City.
Mm-hmm.
I've had New Haven. I like New Haven pizza. I don't really care for deep dish, so I guess I'll just do New Haven, New York, Chicago.
Yeah, I'm probably in the same boat where I'm closer to New York, but I don't think I've really had true New Haven or New York pizza before. I would still go New Haven number one. I might go Chicago, too, because there is that allure to it. We did try the Chicago pizza when we were there. Not a deep dish fan.
Deep dish guy.
Neither am I, but I did like it for what it was. I might still go with that over New York. That might sound sacrilegious, but especially as a Northeasterner, but whatever. Maybe he'll wrestle on Collision. Hey, listen, I hope he does. I hope Wardlow wrestles on Collision. I hope
we're still on the Wardlow thing? Jesus Christ.
He's not a top guy. Yes, he attacked Swerve, but there's been no follow-up. Unfortunately, I think Monet is going to be TBS champion and the AEW Women's World Champion. I don't think so. I think that was going to happen. That would have happened at All In. Tony needs to take a page out of WWE's book and book Wardlow like a monster, a la Braun Breaker. Yeah, I mean, that was the case a couple of years ago. I feel like we're too deep into it now where he just doesn't give a shit. Deep dish pizza is lasagna, Daniel said. Basically. It's good pizza. I like the pizza, though. And Freak Like Najid said, Navit, I believe is how you pronounce it, said, I like the visual. Navit, yes, right?
I assume so.
Yeah, you're right. He likes the visual of Mercedes and the belts all on the ropes. I agree. I thought that was cool. I like the Alex Windsor match in Dynamite last night. I will say that. Grunt said Tony Khan needs to hurry up and announce more matches for All Out so they can move more tickets. They've sold nearly 10,000 with no world title match announced, and they already topped last year's show. That's great. I hope they add more matches. Or more big matches. I hope they do Adam Page and Kenny Omega. I'm just not convinced that they will. But for your sake, Grunt, since you'll be there, I hope they do. He said, I don't expect a sellout of 17,000, but I would like it to top Forbidden Door 2023, which was about 13,000 and some change. I think it will do well. I think Toronto's a good market for them. Scott said, I was actually in line for pizza at this new popular spot in Manhattan SummerSlam weekend and ran into Nick Hogan there. Oh, that's so random. It's pretty cool, though. Yeah, over SummerSlam weekend. Yeah, that would have been in Manhattan. That makes sense. Johnny said, RJ, need to book a trip to New York. You've been in New York before.
I hate New York City, so no thank you.
That is one thing among many things that RJ and I have in common. We fucking hate New York. I'll go there for wrestling shows. We went to Brooklyn for Survivor Series. I've made this joke a million times. I'll make it 1,000,001 more. That we took a train here from Connecticut to New York City. And RJ goes, how long's the train ride? 20 minutes? I go, no, it's like 2 hours.
It was terrible.
It was very funny. And then it was 2 hours back, too. And that was the last time I've been. I was at Barclays Center a couple of weeks ago, but before that.
That's my last time I plan on going.
Yeah.
So.
We were there almost exactly 10 years ago for SummerSlam for the first time. And he is probably not going to go back after that Survivor Series 2021 incident. Freak Like Najit said, how would you pronounce it again? What did you say?
I said Freak Like
Navit.
Navit, yeah.
Navit, okay. I'm messing it up. But he said, but guys, Wardlow has the man bun back. All aura has returned. Yeah, I guess so. $120 for 2 pies? Jesus Christ. That's ridiculous, bro. In New York?
See, Johnny says the New York thing. Like, are you saying, like, I hate New York City? Yeah. Like, I went to Lake George on vacation. It was nice. I like upstate New York. Just don't like New York City.
I agree. Just stinks. People aren't pleasant. Not saying you're not pleasant, Johnny, but a lot of people I've encountered there are not pleasant. I will be that guy. I've been there for a lot of shit. It's just not my favorite place to frequent. Wardlow had to go promote American Gladiators this week. Bro, you're still on the Wardlow thing. I'm not going to agree with that. Wardlow's not a top guy. I'm sorry. Thoughts on the Covenant TV report? I don't know what the report was. You're going to have to tell me. Who do I want Tony Storm to face it all out? Probably Tekla. I feel like that would make sense. Looking like it's going to be Hangman versus Fletcher and Omega versus Alexander, which are fine by me. I'd rather see Hangman versus Omega, but those 2 matches are good too. Both matches would be good. I just feel like just doing Hangman versus Omega would have been better, but that's fine. And Scott said that included 2 sodas, but still, $120 for 2 pizza pies. My fucking God, man, that is just ungodly. I mean, that must have been the best. Hopefully that was the greatest pizza you've ever eaten in your life, because that to me is just not worth it at all. I'm sorry. That's just not worth it whatsoever. Johnny, fuck you. He said, I can't wait to go to New Haven and give the pizza 2 thumbs down. No, listen, New Haven pizza is elite, all right? And
I liked it.
RJ's from Mass.
Elite, but I liked it.
What'd you say?
So I don't know if I'd say elite, but I liked it.
It's better than all the other ones we were talking about. Freak said, prepare to eat crow when Wardlow wins the world title. Okay. I will eat.
What, the NXT World Championship?
The GCW World Championship? I think that's what we're talking about. The NWA World title, I think is what he means. Anyway, the Evolve World Championship, I agree. Anyway, we'll close out here with the last couple things. We already talked about AJ a lot, so that kind of stole my thunder. There's really no need to go on with that. But what were your thoughts on Clash in Paris, Mr. Marceau? We did close with that great tease for the mixed tag team match at WrestlePalooza. Rollins retaining the World Heavyweight Championship, setting up the mixed tag for WrestlePalooza. But the rest of the show I thought was solid. great crowd. You came back from the wedding weekend just on time for the show. How did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I was pretty sleepy coming back from the wedding, so I feel like some of the stuff. I feel like the Cena match. I mean, I texted you. I was waiting for him to pull the bazooka out. I mean, he had Logan Paul with literally every move under the sun and still couldn't beat him. So that kind of was like, it was what it was. But like, thought it was fine. I'm glad Cena won. I thought the Nikki Becky match was just wasn't there for me. I was gonna text you that I think Nikki should have done the coconut loop before, but I don't know. She just didn't look good. I feel like she was very rusty. Didn't look like she was really up to speed on that match. The main event was great. The Becky. I mean, I didn't even think it was Becky. I saw like that. Thought it was Jimmy Uso for a minute. Had the whole head black covering on and didn't know it was Becky, and then got Punk right in the balls and Seth retains LOL. But yeah, I thought overall it was a good show. Yeah.
I thought it was solid. I enjoyed the crowd. They're a very hot crowd. I think the Cena-Logan Paul match was the best of the show. I do agree with the bazookas and the kick out of the finishers. That shit was ridiculous, but I thought the match was great. I thought that stole the show. Rusev and Sheamus I really liked. I thought Becky and Nikki had a good match.
That match, I literally almost fell asleep.
During the good old-fashioned Donnybrook match.
Yes, they've just done that match to death at this point.
They have, but I enjoyed the brawl for what it was. The fall asleep match for me, even though it was early on, was Wyatt Six and Profits. You know, it was a cool entrance for the Wyatts in Paris, but I'm not really sure why that made the card otherwise because it didn't really serve much of a purpose. Roman and Bronson was good. Bro, why not just have fucking Bronson Reed win? I mean, if they're going to kill Roman Reigns and basically shoot him afterward, what's the point of having Bronson Reed lose? I mean, we were expecting it, so I wasn't pissed. But I'm sitting there thinking...
I was saying, they did exactly what we talked about.
They did exactly what we predicted, but I'm just thinking, bro, come on. Why not just have him win? Maybe they want to build him up for when he faces Braun and Braun Breaker can beat him, I guess. I don't know, but wasn't a fan of the outcome. I thought the match was good. And the 4-way main event I thought was well-worked, and Rollins retaining made sense. Aside from the AJ Lee stuff, though, what were your thoughts on Becky Lynch as the next member of The Vision? I was pleasantly surprised by it personally. I saw a lot of people on Twitter being like, Randy Cruz, for example, God bless him, love the guy, but he was like, Austin Theory is going to be the fourth man. Austin Theory is going to be the fourth man, completely forgetting that he's been hurt for months now, and Austin Theory's been a fucking afterthought for the last 6 months, for the last 2 years, really. I saw people saying Tony D'Angelo. I'm like, okay, what are we doing here, okay? Like, there's just no logic behind some of these picks. But, that being said, I think Becky Lynch is a great addition. So, aside from the AJ stuff, what were your thoughts on that?
No, I thought it was good. Like I said, I think we were all honestly, I was expecting a guy. I mean, when Braun and Bronson got thrown out, I was like, oh, this will be the fourth person. Didn't know exactly who it was going to be. Honestly, I think I like it that it's Becky. I think like her new character kind of like fits well with that. I mean, I liked it. I thought it was a good surprise. I mean, once she got in the ring, Becky Lynch is my favorite woman wrestler. So when I saw the person get in the ring, I fucking immediately knew it was her. It looked identically to what she looks like. So the whole black hoodie and the face mask, I knew exactly who it was, but it still popped me big.
Yeah, no, I got a big pop out of that as well. Daniel popped me here in the chat a second ago. He said, it's going to be wild that everyone thinks it's AJ Lee coming out, but instead it's AJ Mana from the Raja Jackson incident. I agree with that. Come on, Nikki Freak said The Rock pivoted to weight loss. Yeah. And Mamadou said, should they do more PLEs overseas? They already do a lot of them as it is. Are you at a point now where you're kind of sick of it and you want them back in the U.S. just to be, selfish? Or do you enjoy the overseas crowds?
I like them. Like I said, I feel like I do like that they're overseas. I will say the chanting to me is getting to the point I'm just tired of it at this point. But no, I mean, I think it's a nice mix up, but I mean, I think you should like spread the wealth. So most of the shows should be United States because it's a United States based product, but you do share the wealth with other countries. So I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, I think a little bit of both. I mean, not all the time. They can't do international shows constantly, but I think the crowd was electric enough where it enhanced my enjoyment of the show. Speaking to Nikki Bella, Chris Faplander, which is still an elite name, by the way, asking me how many subscribers for me to reenact Nikki Bella's entrance. I'll say 50,000. I feel like we got to raise the stakes. I can't whore myself out here and do it like, oh, I'll get another 100 subscribers and do it then. Like, it's going to be a long ways down the road for me to do Nikki Bella's entrance. We'll set that goal, and then maybe if we reach that goal, I'll do the Nikki Bella entrance for you fine folks. And then Johnny asked, is the Vision the best faction right now? No. I like the Vision, but a lot of people aren't sold on it. So it's not quite the MFTs, who are just fucking losers, but I would not say they're the best faction currently. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah. Daniel said, I like the overseas crowds, plus it's not like I'm going to the shows unless they're close by in Chicago, New York, or Philly. I agree, and even then, even if they are in those markets, there's no set-in-stone reason that you might be going because the ticket prices are so absolutely unbelievably expensive. So that's not even that's not even a concrete possibility either. Daniel saying, me doing the Nick entrance would be a hilarious concept. Hey, get me to 50,000 and I'll do it then. But the AJ Lee thing sets up that very likely match for Wrestlepalooza. If she shows up, only if she shows up, do you see it turning into more than a one-off run like we talked about earlier? Or is it just this match and then it's over? I feel like it's just this match and it's over. But it's a great attraction for that event nonetheless.
I mean, I think a one-off would be dumb. I think if anything, you get this. If she's coming back, should be Wrestlepalooza through Mania. And
Okay.
they said maybe she can retire at Mania. I think a one-off is just dumb. I think if you're going to do it, at least get 6 months out of it. Capitalize on it. Like, should get her in the ring one last time, get the one last Royal Rumble, get her last one Mania, and then she can ride off in the sunset. I think a one-off would be dumb.
Induct her into the WWE Hall of Fame while you're at it.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what just do the whole shebang.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Noob asking, is the Asuka Io Sky Rhea Ripley story the best story on Raw right now? I think it is, honestly. I think I would agree with that. What about you?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, obviously, like I don't know where you put Punk Rollins, Becky now. I mean,
yeah,
it's not really. I mean, I think, yeah. So I think it's good. Yeah, we'll see. See
the
what
Punk
happens.
Rollins Becky stuff has been going on for so long that it's kind of hard to rank that. But I'm still invested in that personally as well. We'll end with this. Speaking of Raw, to close out this week's show, Roman Reigns is out, but you take one Samoan out and insert another one. Jimmy Uso is on the Raw roster seemingly now. I mean, the brand split stuff hardly matters, so who knows? But with his wife now getting pregnant, moving on over to the Raw roster, Jimmy Uso reuniting with Jey Uso to combat the Vision's Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed on Raw. Now, I think we've thrown out this possibility before as far as the Usos reuniting. You're a big Jey Uso guy, Mr. Marceau, so I feel like asking you is appropriate. Are you excited for this reunion, or are you kind of disappointed that there are, not already because it lasted a while, that they're cutting short the Jey Uso singles push? Does this put that in jeopardy?
It does. I mean, but like at this point, they've pretty much done everything they can with Jey. I mean, he's won the IC title, he won the World Championship. I don't think he's going back for either belt. I mean, seems like nostalgia. We've got the Usos back together, assuming they'll eventually team with Roman. I mean, I'm glad that he got the 2 title runs. I just feel like at this point, like I just don't see them pushing him out like a singles title run. So I don't hate that they're going to for the tag titles.
Well, I mean, he's done a lot of what he can do. I mean, he won the Rumble within the last year, the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania, won the Intercontinental Championship as well, albeit briefly. All of those reigns were short. He held the tag titles with someone else other than Jimmy Uso with Cody Rhodes 2 years ago. So how much more can you really do with the guy on his own? And they already also have a lot of baby faces. Now that you moved LA Knight to the Raw roster, I would like to see him get the push that Jey Uso has had for the last year. Whether it be in the mid-card, upper mid-card, main event. He was in the main event of Clash of Paris, but I just don't know quite what you do with LA Knight now that he's lost again to Seth Rollins at the pay-per-view this past weekend. I would rather see him occupy the spot that Jey Uso had. But does the seemingly set-up match with the Usos versus Breaker and Reed intrigue you at all? Because to me it feels like a rehash of what we got at SummerSlam with Roman and Jey versus Breaker and Reed.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same thing, but I guess it's the different dynamic of putting the Usos back together, and then we get them, and maybe, like I said, put them back in, like, the actual tag title picture. But, I mean, I don't hate it.
And is it a big help for the Raw tag team division to have the Usos back in the mix?
I would say so. I mean, they don't really have too many teams, so.
I mean, they probably are the team that beat the Usos for the or not the Usos, the Judgment Day for the tag team titles, right?
I would say so.
I mean, that would make the most sense to me. Speaking of the Judgment Day, Johnny said the best story on Raw right now is the Judgment Day. I disagree. It's not even really a story. I mean, they're just kind of there. They hold a lot of the championships. I'll give them that, but it's not really much of a story. Chris said, is Ava still training to be a wrestler? I don't know. It wasn't going all that well because when she did wrestle, she was not very good. And I think they then pivoted to her being the on-screen GM because that was the only role that they had for her that made sense, and she fucking sucked at that too. And so I don't really know what you do with Ava, to be honest with you. If they're going to have The Rock's daughter on the show, they're going to find a role for her to be on the show. But she's just not really all that good at any of it, in my opinion. Lucha Bros has to be reunited next. Is that imminent, Mr. Marceau, you think? Lucha Bros versus Usos incoming?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I think, especially with Penta, I feel like on Raw, he's kind of spinning his wheels right now. So, I mean, I think so. He's kind of doing like mid to low card fodder at this point. So I think a reunion is kind of needed at this point.
Yeah, I think it's definitely inevitable. I don't know if you do it soon. I would like to see Penta get a mid-card title reign first, but with Dominic being champion, he's already lost to Dominic a couple different times now. Fucking hated the end, by the way, to AJ and Dominic on Raw this week. I just thought that was so lazy. Grande Americano costing him the win. What is your take right now on the whole Grande Americano thing? Because we have Kaiser under the mask. There's really just no development there. Like, what happened with Kaiser and Gunther? I know Gunther's gone for right now. They never really addressed what happened with them. And the Americano stuff I enjoy, but it's kind of in a holding pattern right now. What's your take on that whole shit?
Yeah, it's channel changing for me at this point.
There's just no progression, so I just don't.
There's nothing interesting in it.
Yeah, nothing interesting. Ringside Logic, what's going on, brother? Atlee, hope you're doing well, my man. He said the Division doesn't have an overall identity as a faction. Evolution, NWO, DX, even the freaking Cabinet had more of an identity. Do you agree with that? I would agree with that. I like the vision. I like the idea of the Vision. I mean,
I like the idea of the Vision, but they're like every other group that there's one person that's big, and then I guess they are kind of putting Breaker more over, but I just feel like they're kind of like lackeys for Rollins, and at least Brent Breaker should be kind of more of like actually pushed.
Yeah, less stooges for Rollins and more their own individuals, right?
Like you can still be a stooge and actually win something. Like that's what made Evolution good. Like yeah, Triple H had his stooges, but like Randy and them were champions at the same time, so like it wasn't like they were just losing on Raw every week like Bronson and Braun do.
Yeah, no, Braun Breaker wins a fair amount of matches. Bronson Reed, I don't know the last match that he won on his own, although they did win on Raw this week. I think the idea of the faction is that Rollins sees the future of the company in Breaker and Reed. They really haven't established that well enough, though. To Ringside Logic's point, I feel like they could do a much better job of that. Lapdog said, Lucha Bros have been huge flops in WWE. They should have stayed in AEW where TK used them properly. We're just... I mean, what do you even say to that aside from laugh? I mean, the whole flops comment I agree with to an extent, not with Penta. Penta, from the moment he debuted, was a star and has sold a lot of merchandise for this company. He could be doing more right now, but he has been one of the few regulars on Raw all year. Rey Fenix, they could be doing better with, and at least he's teaming with Andrade, and, you know, they have great chemistry. But the last sentence is where you got me. They should have just stayed in AEW where TK used them properly. Brother, were barely on the show their last year in the company. When they weren't hurt, they were barely utilized, and they weren't really doing a whole ton. They did the tag team title thing. They did the trios title thing. They did the international title thing, or Phoenix did. Come on, man. What kind of comment is that? They should have stayed in AEW. Rey Fenix was not posting pictures of him being in a jail cell, acting as if he was in Guantanamo Bay for no reason. I mean, come on. They desperately wanted to go, specifically Rey Fenix. That's ridiculous. Jey Uso didn't win Money in the Bank. Well, okay, he doesn't need to win Money in the Bank. He came close last year, so come on, man. Even Grunt is the biggest AEW sicko. Even Grunt said, yeah, Lapdog, come on now. I miss them too, but you gotta be real. Come on, man. You want the Lucha Bros to have stayed? I'm not. You can't. Come on, man. Lapdog said they were buried on the show because TK knew they were WWE bound. No, he did not. I mean, even before that, what were they really doing in AEW the last few years that was remotely interesting? I love the Lucha Bros. I think they're great. I think they had a great run in AEW overall. I'm not saying they were buried, but the last 2 or 3 years, they were just there. AEW had an opportunity to really push Penta on his own, do more with Phoenix. They didn't do any of that. The only reason Phoenix became international champion, I think, was a fucking accident. I mean, come on, man. I mean, Penta is a much bigger star now. He's the biggest that he's ever been on his own since the Lucha Underground days, since TNA. TNA did a better job of making Penta a bigger star than fucking AEW did. Come on, man. Anyway, where's Gunther? He's injured. Like Lapdog said, he is currently hurt. What are your favorite places for New Haven pizza, Johnny asked. Do you have any go-tos, Mr. Marceau, or not really?
No. I mean, I've only been to that one place with you, so.
Yeah, there is Modern Pizza would be my favorite, but there's also Sally's and Pepe's. Those are the top three, not really a bold opinion, but if you're ever in New Haven, check out any of those 3 places. They're all excellent. Let's see. Ever heard of the Death Triangle? Lapdog. Come on. Come on. We're going from the Wardlow thing to the Death Triangle thing. Now you are going to fight this to the death. You're popping RJ over here, okay? That's hard to do. The Death Triangle was fucking death.
I've heard of the Death Triangle. Yes, I have.
What's the point? I have heard of the group, but what point are you trying to make about the Death Triangle? Remember the Death Triangle versus the Elite Best of 7? I do. What is the point that you're trying to make? They were a good trio, but Grunt is saying to you, right? Grunt, like I said, is one of the biggest, as a compliment, one of the biggest AEW sickos. Even he is agreeing with what we're saying here. He said, yeah, they did everything they could as a tag team, and they clearly wanted to split up as singles, but Tony Khan wasn't going for it. Exactly. They did nothing with them on their own. I can't emphasize that enough. We'll be here all day doing a fucking stand-up comedy routine if we keep going at this rate. But this has been a lot of fun, guys. I appreciate all the... I'm here for the pop. Yeah, Mr. Marceau. I'm here for the pop, too. If you can pop him with comments like that, then I think mission accomplished. But
what's next? Are you going to defend the wingman? Like, Jesus Christ.
I need to know what AEW act you're going to defend next. Always a fun time here on Thursdays on WrestleRant Radio. New episodes every single Thursday on WrestleRant.com, WrestleRantRadio.com, and also right here on the YouTube channel. Video version goes up first every single Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon. Check it out. We're here every single Thursday. Shout out once again to the channel members, Alexis, Miss Mod Matthews, Dillon, DiGiacomo, Mrs. Renee, DJ Swerve1 at Swerve1 on IG, Daniel Malcolm at letter I, letter M, quarter on X, Mr. Marceau at RJ_Marceau on X. Real Honesty with John Ritlin. Check out John Ritlin here on YouTube. Red Planet Wrestling for Richie as well. And Average Grunt on Blue Sky at gruntwrestling.bluesky.social. More information on the channel memberships down below in the description box. And be sure to like the video and subscribe on your way out and turn on notifications for more, to be notified every single time we're live here for the show and every single time new content gets uploaded. Let's see. Abu Sika, what are you doing here at the very last? You're making a last-minute run in here, brother. Great to see you, but you said... May I? Come on, man. You guys are killing me. May I interest you in Sammy Guevara? Yeah, I mean, Sammy Guevara is his own worst enemy, it seems like, but I couldn't give 2 fucks about Sammy Guevara at this point if I tried. But yes, Sammy Guevara is indeed still a thing. He only wrestled, Phoenix wrestled on his own only a few times. Exactly, you're proving my point. He didn't do anything as a single star. He only wrestled a few times. Fucking a couple times. The only reason he became international champion was because it was an accident. Like Grunt said, the only singles title he won was on a fluke. Come on, man. Reconvene, come back with more AEW takes next week, Lapdog, and let us know what you think. This has been a lot of fun chatting with you, Abu Sika, Grunt, everybody, Daniel, Richie was here earlier, Hunter. Thank you guys, Millennial Noob. A lot of activity in the chat. You guys were excellent. Scott, thank you as well for all the chats earlier. You guys are awesome. Mr. Marceau, on that note, anything to heel Sammy's going to be great. Johnny, I still don't care.
I got nothing for you.
He's got nothing. You're just excited for Thursday Night Football tonight.
Exactly.
I'm excited as well. Well, listen to Mr. Marceau. We'll be right back next week here on the show. Until next week, guys, have an awesome one. For Mr. Marceau, I'm Graham G.S. Matthews. Enjoy football again tonight, and we'll catch your ass down the road. Peace.
Join Graham GSM Matthews and RJ Marceau every Thursday as they run down their weekly wrestling rants, offer expert analysis, host exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe today on all your favorite podcast platforms and never miss an episode of WrestleRant Radio.